co-defendant, a 14-year-old juvenile, had been firing an AR-15 and a Glock along with two other males who fled with a second AR pistol, and the other two males were apprehended.
I'm going to put you in jail.
Welcome to Bench Report Court Cam.
Are any of you here with parents today?
No, sir. No, sir.
None of you came with any parents.
No, sir.
Mr. Gallegos, you were charged with discharging a firearm. Who's Gallegos?
I'm here, sir.
Mr. Gallegos, you were charged with discharging a firearm in a metropolitan area. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Are you Mr. Gamero?
That's me.
Mr. Gamero, you were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Mr. Garcia, you were also charged with discharging a firearm in a metropolitan area. All of you are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You each have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On January 12, 2025, the officer observed four males in dark clothing forming a circle and discharging several high-caliber weapons into the air while on patrol behind a residential neighborhood in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed two males run towards Muscatine Street and two males flee towards Garber Lane, where the officer remained stationary. The officer identified the second male apprehended as defendant Gamero, 18 years old, who was found in possession of a Glock handgun tucked into his waistband. Defendant Gamero admitted that he and a co-defendant, a 14-year-old juvenile, had been firing an AR-15 and a Glock along with two other males who fled with a second AR pistol, and the other two males were apprehended, one of which was defendant Gallegos, 17 years old. Defendant Gallegos confirmed the other male's identity and stated the weapon had been passed around among four individuals and that all were involved in shooting them, and that the AR was purchased from an unknown individual in the street. The fourth male was identified as defendant Garcia, 17 years old. Defendant Garcia admitted to firing all three seized weapons, and defendant Garcia was observed disposing of an AR-15 and surrendering.
Gentlemen, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with each of your cases, and I am ordering you as the condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. How old are each of you? How old are you, sir?
17.
How old are you?
17.
How old are you?
I too.
What do you do with yourselves?
Well, I just be at the home with my girlfriend.
Did you graduate from high school?
No, sir.
We're going to work on that. Did you graduate from high school?
No, sir. I'm
So great.
yeah.
Are you currently enrolled in school?
No, I had dropped out, but
Okay, not anymore.
this
We're going to work on that. What's your situation?
I'm currently enrolling in school because I just left and
No. Are you enrolled or
No,
are you
sir.
not? Okay, we're going to work on that as well. Did you graduate? We're going to work on it. The first thing I'm going to tell each of you is that you are not to smoke any weed. I'm sending you each for a test right now because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. If there's something in your system, you will get a pass today. But I'm giving you notice now that you will be retested in 45 days. And if I find that you continue to use, I'm going to put you in jail. I don't know if you're using, but if you are, it stops today. And if you stop today, in 45 days, you will be clean. If you continue to use, you're going to end up staying with me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What goes up must come down. So when you fire a gun in the air, a bullet has to go somewhere. If it lands on a 7-year-old's head, what happens? It's a rhetorical question, meaning that you don't need to answer. But I'm giving you something to think about, that what goes up must come down. What goes down will ricochet. And if it ricochets into a person, someone's going to get charged with that murder. Do you understand?
Yes,
There
sir.
are proper places to do these things. That's what you do. As far as I'm concerned now, none of you are to be in possession of any weapons whatsoever. Don't worry about filing any conditions because each of them are going to be honored.
Yes, sir.
I will provide each of you guys a lawyer today, and I'm going to send you for a test. You must come back. If you fail to go test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take a seat for me, please.
Right this way.
Or I'm going to have you sign resets and then we'll have you take a seat. So what is his last name again? What is your last name?
There you go.
Mr. Gallegos.
Page 3.
This is not a good way to start in life. I can tell you now that if you don't have a high school diploma, you will make pennies to when everybody else is making dollars. You will never have a good job in this life at a minimum without a high school diploma. Knowledge is power. And if you don't set yourself up for something in the future, you're going to end up destitute. 90% of the marriages that end up in divorce now is because people have no money. They fight constantly because they never have money. And it all starts now when you're 17. And it starts by staying in high school. I want you to do that. I'm going to bring you back in 2.5 weeks. I want to see what you have done to get back into school. If you need help, I can give you resources so that we can sign you up for free GED classes. Because I don't know if you're old enough to get back into high school. But if you want, I can give you resources now so that you can start with GED classes. That's fine with me. One more thing. No smoking weed. I will test you 45 to 50 days from today. If I find that you're smoking weed, it's not going to go well. You get my drift.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you stop as of now, the next time I test you, it should be negative. If you continue to use, you understand?
Yes, sir.
You must stay in touch with Ms. Oakforth. She'll tell you how to handle this case and what you need to do. If she tells you that you're playing games, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. All right? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, man. Make me proud. Come on.
Good morning, Judge.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
You standing in for Mr. Butler?
I'm standing in for Mr.
Okay,
Butler.
wonderful.
I'm a Mac attorney as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you're charged with you are Miss Greeny. Okay, Miss Greeny, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On January 9th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to 1100 Siegler Road regarding a major crash, and the officer observed the defendant outside her vehicle talking to Houston Fire Department. The defendant's vehicle was in a ditch with apparent minor front end damage, was on and in the in-park position. The defendant appeared disoriented, had poor balance, and was not able to stand unassisted. The defendant stated she had the motor vehicle's key fob in her pocket, and the defendant was taken to HCA Healthcare, and the officer then went to HCA to obtain a statement. The officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and bloodshot eyes. The defendant stated she did not strike her head or lose consciousness due to the collision and drank between 1 to 10 12-ounce Miller Lite beers prior to operating the motor vehicle and getting into the collision. The defendant further stated she could not remember the time she drank her last beer. Standard field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6. Walk and turn and one leg stand were refused as the defendant stated her balance has always been bad. The defendant was read the DIC and a blood search warrant was signed and executed.
All right. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds for you, ma'am. Any priority to BIs?
No, Your Honor. And her license is eligible.
Got it. You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you, I will revoke your bond. Don't pick up any new cases, and that's it. Okay, so I'll have you sign a wreath of Victoria. We'll have you get with Ms. Smith for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go. Thank you,
Judge.
All right.
Good to see you.
You too. Take care. You are Jorge Gomez.
Yes, I am.
Mr. Gomez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 12th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to the 6800 block of Highway 225 within the city limits of Deer Park for a sedan stationary in lane 2 with a missing front tire. The officer observed the defendant in the driver's seat slumped over, the vehicle to be in drive, and the defendant to have his foot on the gas. The officer observed damage to the front right of the motor vehicle and the front right tire to be missing. The officer had to force entry into the vehicle to check the defendant's welfare due to the vehicle being locked. The officer put the vehicle in park and turned the vehicle off. The officer called out to the defendant, shook his arm, and administered 4 to 5 sternum rubs, and the defendant then slowly woke up and was unaware of what was occurring. The officer observed slurred speech, red glossy eyes, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, in addition to unsteadiness on the defendant's feet. The officer observed a buzzball chiller and beatbox alcoholic drink on the front passenger floorboard, both containers empty. The defendant stated he drank 6 beers earlier in the night and thought he was still in Houston. Extended field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and consented to provide a blood sample.
Are you telling me that there was alcohol while he was driving?
They just found empty containers. There's no cold has no facts indicating.
Okay. Does he have a valid Texas driver license?
All right, Your Honor.
Please. And any prior DWIs that can run an NCIC. Mr. Gomez, I'm going to find that there's enough probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Your Honor, no prior DWIs and life is eligible.
If you don't have liability insurance coupled with that license, then you're not allowed to drive. That's also a condition of your bond as well. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No, sir.
Do you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Sir, the thing is, I'm actually on probation for a different.
Stop.
So,
Just don't. All I want to know is you want a court appointed lawyer.
yes.
Okay. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today. Just don't say anything. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever they say, they can use it against you. I'll have you sign a resale, Victoria. We're going to give you an application. You will eventually meet with Ms. Smith, and then we'll appoint your lawyer.
Yes.
Okay? Leave.
Thanks for watching. Stick around longer and click the highlighted videos to your right. See you there.